today we are here to launch our campaign to stop the sanctions on mothers and children. Section 70A, or the proposed sections 176, 177 and 178 of the Social Security Legislation Rewrite Bill, impose a sanction of $22 or more per child on women who are unable to name the father of their child.
I work with many women and children every day, and I know that these sanctions cause real harm. It's easy for working income to put these sanctions on, but it's hard to get them to stop them.
These sanctions are a racist and sexist double standard. Our law is taking $22 or $28 a week away from some of the poorest families in our country. This deprives children of the basic necessities of life and means they grow up in poverty. They're denied a good start. Aotearoa is a wealthy country, but we have 305,000 children, 29% of our children living in poverty. These sanctions are making that worse. It's really common for mothers to be threatened by fathers about what will happen if they tell Work and Income who the father is. It happens all the time. The women are verbally threatened and some of them experience outright physical violence. The government's been running a big campaign to reduce domestic violence in recent years, and they made some big announcements yesterday. But this law is actually putting women and children in danger.
The way in which WINS is administering Section 70A is actually wrong. These women should not be being sent to a lawyer. A lawyer cannot give you an opinion. We are not there to test the veracity of what the woman is saying, which is what the Social Security Appeal Authority has already told WINS. But instead of listening to their own appeal authority and instead of looking at their law, they continue to send women to lawyers because it's a barrier, right? It's a punitive system. So I have a woman who comes into my office and then I have to ask her all these questions, and she almost always cried, okay? Because that's the extent of the indignity of having to explain to a complete stranger, and not for the first time, because usually she will have already spoken to numerous case managers in an open plan office about how many times she had sex with this man, how drunk she was she really that drunk? Was it consensual? I mean, can you imagine?
Mothers and children who live in conditions of poverty and hardship have not had their lives improved by Section 70A deductions. The amount of money may seem small to some, but it is significant for many women. Exposure to chronic stress is debilitating, and daily economic struggles contribute to increasing levels of damaging stress on women, their infants, and their young children. The sanction is moralistic, it's value-based, it's inherently gender-biased and sexist. It puts into further hardship some of our more vulnerable families, and steps need to be taken now to address our serious inequity, hardship and poverty issues. Supporting mothers to ensure that all children get the best possible start in life is the most important thing we can do to help children grow up to become healthy and productive adults.
One thing that we see is absolutely consistent is mothers' commitment to their children in all stages of their work with us. We don't believe that mothers are cheating the system or that their reasons for ever not disclosing the father's details are selfish. Imagine the case of a very young woman who has 2 children. She won't disclose the father, so she has to deal with the sanctions for both of the children. Not even the family know who the father is, but they support her anyway. She's really grateful for that support, she knows it. Imagine the case of a very young woman who has 2 children. She won't disclose the father, so she has to deal with the sanctions for both of the children. Not even the family know who the father is, but they support her anyway. She's really grateful for that support, she knows that she won't cope without it. After talking with her on a number of occasions, she finally confides in you that actually the father is a prominent member of her local church. She says she didn't want to have sex with him and doesn't know why she did. From the outside, it's really easy to understand during those conversations and to recognise the grooming behaviour and the implicit threats of violence that have been going on basically since she was about 13. She doesn't really understand those threats though, or understand that she might meet any kind of exemption criteria. She can't disclose it to her family. She thinks that she would be ostracised, and it's likely that if she did tell, she would be completely cut off from all family and social support. And that, to her, means a hell of a lot more than the sanctions do.
Parliament yesterday, and so we know from this that we've already begun to make an impact, with both Labour and Greens formally supporting our call to remove the sanctions. As of today, we now know that we also have New Zealand First and the Māori Party who are already on board. As this bill continues through Parliament, we still need to convince either United Future or ACT or the National Party. So we need these parties to know that this is an important and urgent issue. We need them to stand on the side of women and children.